Hello everybody, welcome back. We're all loaded again this morning. This is lovely stuff, isn't it, to wake up like this? It brings back fond memories. Bitcoin now up almost 12%, and obviously the altcoins that we were in prior to that having a bit of a cooling off period after rallying at least 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% last week. So awesome stuff. Before I get started, I might as well bring it to your attention. I don't know if any of you are looking to do trading bots again, but if you are looking to do it, I've never known Bitsgap have such a significant sale going on. You can pick it up for a 12-month period or a 3-month period with really pretty decent savings on this one. So it's completely up to you. But we used to use them in the past. I'll leave a link in the description below, and I've got loads of tutorials on it because I've used Bitsgap for 3 or 4 years now. Good stuff. Now, I thought I'd just bring it to your attention. They don't often do this, so if you're looking to do bots, cheap as chips at the moment. Well, cheaper, not quite as cheap as chips. I don't know, with inflation, chips are expensive now. Right, so let's have a look. Bitcoin then, the star of the show, smashed right through the major resistance here. Excellent, this is great. So this is all coming off the back now of that major pump signal that was generated around the last resistance, which was broken. 28,500 feels like a long time ago, but I remember it wasn't too long ago when I was talking about breaking back into this range, going back up to the previous local high. People were vomiting all over the comments. Oh, I can't take it. Yeah, it's a bear market. Right, okay. Look, no one's right or wrong until you've made the money, really. So, look, the weekly, we'll focus on that right now. Plenty of room to run here on the money flow index. And I mean it really is. On a weekly basis, now that we've broken this range, although we could easily come down to retest 31,800, the next level is about 37,800, almost 37,900. And I've been saying now for absolutely ages, for months, that the Bitcoin range for the most part, is going to be between 20 and 40. Sounds like a big range, but it's absolutely not. If you go back to our previous range in the last bull market, although we started lower and peaked a little higher, the range was basically between 6,000 and 12,000. So basically, it's not any different to where it was before. I know everyone's going to be very excited and euphoric today, especially as charts do point to further upside. Absolutely, they do. And Ethereum did not break down as well from that major area of support, which again, now we've bounced from. Things are looking very good. That's also looking to move its way back up towards 2,000. Although it's not the strongest chart, it's not as good as Bitcoin. So, long story short, although we might have reached a temporary peak, as in for the day, maybe, but not even a certainty on that one, continuation is actually still quite likely. It is honestly still quite quite likely. So with that, if we do come back down based on this 4-hourly, the 10 exponential has proven to be the most useful on the 4-hourly, and then the Bollinger Band. 10 exponential and then close to a Bollinger Band. So the 10 exponential now is now at the resistance, which is hopefully now flipped to support 31,008 or 900, and the Bollinger Band center for the 4-hourly is 30,750. Again, they're trending up quite sharply, so probably even by the end of the day into tomorrow, the Bollinger Band on this 4-hourly should have reached up over to that level. So it's looking really, really, really good. So congratulations to all of you. Because we saw not particularly this price coming, but we saw this trend coming, not just on Bitcoin, but on all the altcoins as well. So let's have a think about Ethereum then. So Ethereum has now got its golden cross. That's all the way back down here at 1615 on the 4-hourly, which does invite a pullback into that level. Sounds devastating, but it's all part and parcel of the way that price action likes to retest major supports to see if they're actually genuine. We don't have any bearish divergence on this on the way up, and a pullback of that size would be 10%. So I'm not saying that we're going to pull back 10% today. Obviously, these will trend up over time. So if we do spend a bit of time consolidating over the next couple of days or so, we will meet price action with. They'll be reunited with moving averages at some point over this week. And if it happened right now, it'd be like 10%. Midway through the week, maybe 5%. And there on, so on. So it does look all quite good for Ethereum, and what bodes well for Ethereum is good for altcoins. Obviously, some of the laggers at the moment would be XRP, also got its golden cross, and it's above the 10 exponential. which is, yeah, it's all very good. INJ is really pushing hard. Obviously, Chainlink's done its business. Yeah, again, BSV did its business. Now, one of the ones I'm quite interested in the short term now would be Algorand, which has always been an underperformer. It's now got itself a pump signal on this 4-hourly, which is good, lending itself to a possible quick run up to around just short of 11 cents. It's a Rec City chart, but it could have, at this point now, could have perhaps even bottomed on the macro. If you want to know more about altcoins or any chart whatsoever, we do live streams on this channel twice a week. You've got to be a Patreon member, and there's links in the description below for that. It's £7.50 a month. You get 2 live streams a week, and we basically just look at lots and lots and lots and lots of charts for up to a 2-hour period each time. So like I say, there is one tonight if you fancy joining that, and yeah, get yourself a subscription to that Patreon. Right, so let's have a look at traditional markets then, shall we? The Bitcoin dominance chart still pumping forward at this point now, looking like it wants to break away from all the moving averages, even the monthly, so that's fine. Bitcoin driven market as is. If there were to be a horizontal area of significance to be rejected from, it's going to be around 58% dominance. It's quite a little way off at the moment. Doesn't mean that your altcoin will lose money, but most likely most altcoins will probably lose sats, but not all. As we saw last week, you can easily outperform Bitcoin if you find and discover a better chart. So not all altcoins are created equal. Gold. Okay, so gold actually doing okay. It did have a little sell-off as of yesterday, tiny sell-off. Not quite any kind of follow-through. Not any kind of breakdown, not quite yet. So there is a chance actually we do go on for another little high on this one before potentially breaking down and going down lower. Well, again, just retesting the 19s. Let's have a look at our friend Dixie. Dixie bouncing more or less from this horizontal over here, so that's fine. We can extend that. We can see that that is actually relevant. So at this point now, 2 drives of hidden bullish divergence. Definitely a decent looking chart. So you might be looking for a run on the Dixie now, a little run, maybe not to its previous local high, but certainly a bounce on the Dixie. A breakdown from here would be good, and you'll be looking for a much deeper move down to 104. And finally, let's move ourselves to S&P futures. Again, same as yesterday. We've got 1 drive of bullish divergence. It's only a single drive. Outside of that, it doesn't look like a very good chart right now. Possibly going to make another low on this one. Maybe even scraping the 4,100 zone over this week at some point, and that would probably be emphasized by Dixie bouncing. So traditional markets, we're talking about S&P and well, stocks in general, as far as indices are concerned, and gold and Forex, they do paint the opposite picture than that of what Bitcoin wants, which is actually continuation towards the up. They kind of look like they were going to consolidate here. Your gut instinct would look at something like Bitcoin and go, well, hang on a minute, we've done a big move here. You've not seen things like this in a while. And that's true. Bitcoin hasn't not really done anything of this size in a while. People kind of forget that it can happen, and it is obviously now happening. Your natural instinct is to think that it's going to drop instantly. That's your natural instinct. But the charts don't say that that is what's going to happen. That's not what we're seeing right now. We've got bearish divergence that has basically only got a single drive of it on the 4-hourly now on the money flow index, but nothing here on the RSI. So I would go as far as to say that, if we do come down, it would just be a natural consolidation based around a 4-hourly, most likely going to hold above the previous resistance, so above 31,900. And then continue on from there to fulfill what could be the range that we've had established and that we've expected for probably about 6 months, and will probably continue on further throughout the into next year, the $20,000 to $40,000 accumulation range. And like I say, if you have not accumulated within that range, we are now above the midway point. We're not at the peak of it, we're above the midway point. It's still an accumulation range that we're in. We've broken out from certain areas on the chart, but it's still an accumulation range. So, it's not, I suppose, it's not too late to buy it, but I certainly wouldn't do it. I've not bought any Bitcoin since we were back down at the 21,500 zone, and I was only really looking to buy it if we were to have broken down below 24,000, which we never did. Not really looking to buy any more at these higher prices, even though I still believe it's an accumulation range which will break and then lead on to a new high. Again, that, if it was going on to our previous all-time high, it's less than 100% rally really from the top of the accumulation zone. So I'm not one of those people that wants to make any guesses at where this is going to peak at in the several years. It's kind of crazy thing to try and do that. But I would expect a new all-time high. But what that would be, your guess would be as good as mine, really. Charts can only really tell you so much. When we're talking about something like Bitcoin, which is not very old, and obviously it just goes up from highs to highs to highs. We don't know where it will peak with its volume. We don't know when the get out signals will be flashing. We don't know what's going to be going on in the broader scheme of the economic picture that constantly gets tampered with geopolitical problems. So look, I can't tell you where it's going to go, but I would expect it will still live between now and next year within the $20,000 to $40,000 range. And again, that doesn't mean we can't have little wicks outside, a wick outside there, a wick down here, as we saw wicks down below 20,000, obviously down to 15 or so. We saw the similar sort of thing here. Accumulation range effectively between 6 and 12, but we did go all the way down to 3 and all the way up to basically 14. But mostly lived in a 100% accumulation range. Right, so that's it. In summary, I feel as though we've got further to run over the next week or so. But Dixie, S&P, and obviously Forex, gold, will probably have some kind of impact on this Bitcoin price. And so as we get closer and closer to that $40,000 zone, the more cautious we ought to be in taking new positions, spot positions in the short term, and also we should be more cautious, absolutely cautious, of any futures trading that you've decided to do. Right, thanks for watching. Congratulations, everybody. We're rich. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the Patreon. Take it easy.